I'm back. Freddy's outside.
That's nice, and we should be online now. Boy,
Uh,
this is going to be an
Hello?
awkward stream. Oh, hey, Melting Man, you arrived. Oh, thank goodness. I thought we were going to
Yeah,
be
I
all
got a
over the
little
place.
got a little carried away from a project I was working on.
All right. That can happen, I suppose. I just barely finished my last project myself. That's just me. Always last minute stuff. Isn't that right, Sylvia?
that's right.
We're going on
Hello.
vacation. I want to finish one cartoon before we leave, and literally, like 15 minutes before leaving, I'm still behind the computer finishing last seconds. Oh, I have a knack for finishing last minute.
Yeah, you certainly do. May it be a holiday, may it be New Year's Eve, may it be a birthday or whatever. You're always last minute finishing stuff.
And even today before the stream. But
Exactly.
cartoon
Eh,
finish.
they probably should just call you Last Minute Man.
What a
Yeah.
superhero. So yeah, we're gonna have a bit of a weird live stream because Luke is missing because he dares to have a social life outside of us. He dares to be hanging out with his friends in a pub. And where was he specifically visiting again?
Was it I can't remember.
Oxford,
Not
was it?
Oxford. Yeah, it wasn't London. It wasn't Southend. But yeah, he's visiting some pals and hanging around town.
Hmm.
And like us, and yeah, even though I did draw the captain in the thumbnail, he's not gonna be joining us either, so I have to cover him up.
Can't you just delete him like boop, like you did on Melting Man that one time?
Yeah, I should. Let's just delete him.
Yeah, I'm just noticing the thumbnail and gave me quite the nose there. You know I'm not Jewish, right?
Well, you just have things right on the nose, like what was
Yeah,
it
that's
saying
true.
again? Yeah.
Yeah, right on the nose,
Hmm.
on the money or whatever. Yeah.
Don't
Keep
worry,
very
don't
easy.
worry, Adrian. We haven't seen the Batman movie yet, or at all. Or I think it was with the Twilight guy, was it?
Yeah,
The new
Robert
Batman movie.
Pattinson. No, I
Yeah.
haven't seen it yet, so no
Yeah, I
spoilers.
haven't seen the new one. It is kind of weird that it's just called The Batman. It's like, oh yeah, not to be confused with like the TV show called The Batman, and I'm sure it's a completely different
Yeah, as long as he doesn't sparkle. Hmm.
thing. Wait, did
Oh,
Batman sparkle at one point?
just a correction. Luke is not in Oxford. He's actually in London. I don't
Oh,
know
he
where I
was.
got Oxford from.
Ah,
Well, we have to get our Luke lore straight because it would be terrible if people thought he was in a different town. So,
Yeah,
hey,
if he's
anyone who's stalking us, you know which city he is in. I mean, London is very small, so he's very easy to find, right?
exactly.
Just how many train stations there or subway stations? Ferry or
Uh,
something.
at,
So
at least more than 50.
there you go. So
Hmm.
easy to find.
Uh, don't forget the subways, the sandwich subway places. They also count.
And they also
ah,
have probably others too.
yeah, Subways, eat fresh.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, he's going to Oxford Circus. That's why we got confused.
Oh no! Now you got an exact location.
Oh
Now they know
no.
what subway station to get out to. I never got that why they call it the circus because it has nothing to do with circus. It's just a British name for a roundabout or something. Or...
Hmm.
Maybe it used to be pretty chaotic and it looked like a circus.
I don't think it's literally meant to be a circus. It's just
Hmm.
referencing something else. And British language with their trousers and their rubbish and their weird different English. But
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. I was gonna say I'm talking, but no one has any idea who I am at the moment. I'm just
Yeah, I
Yeah, we
might as
should.
well introduce you. That's might be an idea. So you want
so.
to introduce yourself?
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm usually known as Double SNL in the chat. I'm usually the mod, the background, the backstage, whatever. Also known as Roger's wife at occasions. But yeah, you can just call me Sylvia, and I'm joining in today just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, because we're not really talking about anything specific. I mean, it would be a
Exactly.
waste to talk about the new season of Sonic X since Luke already missed out on the finale. So that then he would be missing a little too much.
How
Yeah.
dare he?
His insights
well,
is very important.
well, we might talk about a few things related to Sonic, but yeah, we're taking a break from the usual stuff we cover.
Yeah, no comic, no Sonic X, but we might talk about Sonic and Tails R, the radio show. And,
Oh yeah.
yeah, some other stuff, maybe Pokemon. It's not gonna be a super spectacular stream, so just relaxing, I suppose. Just shooting the shit, as the kids might say. But yeah, so Sylvia, you're the first female on our stream. Welcome. How does it feel?
Less nervous-ing than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, we're
But
just chatting.
yeah. But on the background, I can hear our cat Freddy meowing about because he wants attention too, apparently.
Well, hey, we missed 2 guests, so I guess Freddy's our 4th guest. He's replacing the captain.
Yeah. Oh, and as Sala Commander is saying, yeah, the banisher of Shamex, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, the captain is still with us. He's in the Discord, so we might occasionally see what he wants to say. But yeah, he has a bit of a cold, or he's a bit sick, so he can't really join us, or he'd be coughing all the time.
We don't want that happening again, like what happened last time with me.
Yeah, exactly.
It can happen, I suppose. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the captain is with us in spirit, I suppose, and occasionally in writing.
Maybe it's easy if I forward some questions at times, because I already see someone asking a question, which is for Roger, asked by Ruben Guzman. Roger, do you like crisps?
Does he mean potato chips, crisps, or is that making fun of my that I was making fun of the British language?
I don't know. It doesn't say that, but I just assume he means like potato crisps, like as we say, chips.
Yeah, of course I like them. I'm a big fat, so what do you think? Although I haven't eaten them in a while, I try to avoid them as much as possible because it's fattening. When I eat sweets, it's usually popcorn. It's the healthiest. Not that I'm eating so much healthy though, but that's one of the few things I'm trying to avoid. My pathetic attempt to not be super mega fat, but just normal, horribly fat, I guess.
Yeah, I'm fine with eating chips. I usually eat the sour cream. Cheddar sour cream ones. Those are the ones I usually eat.
I like salty and paprika. The generic ones. And bolognese.
What about barbecue flavored crisps?
No, but we did have a ketchup flavor one. That was delicious.
Ooh, that was a bit overpowering, if you ask me. I prefer the you could say the McDonald's sauce kind of crisps, yoppie sauce.
That's probably a Dutch only crisps flavor.
Yeah, well, I'm just describing it how it's like. I mean, it's similar to the McDonald's chips, fries sauce.
That's right.
It's quite nice as a crisp, so.
Yeah, it's a very popular one and uniquely Dutch. Hooray for us.
Oh, someone is giving you some diet advice, apparently. Rog, try a plant-based diet. I'm a fat guy too, and I lost 5 pounds in a week.
Plans, yeah, but they don't fill up enough unless it's beans. But yeah, for beans is just eating beans all the time not good either.
Adrian, question: do you mean losing 5 pounds in weight or 5 pounds in money to buy stuff for the plant-based diet?
Oh, pretty sure it's more expensive than just 5 pounds.
Exactly. That's why I'm asking.
The cheapest, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should eat more grapefruits and avocado. I hear avocado's pretty good to lose weight too.
Someone he's asking: is the background supposed to be Ukrainian flag? Well, that's a big coincidence, but no.
Yeah,
really? Is that the colors of? Well,
yeah, blue and yellow is the colors of the Ukrainian flag.
Yeah.
Oh wow, wasn't intense. Well, hey, sure for they can use our solidarity, I suppose.
Yeah, purely unintentional, but yeah.
Oh, I should check out how the actual flag looks like. Thank goodness I didn't accidentally put the Russian flag up there then. Not have I get anything against Russians. I do have a couple of Russian friends, but the government isn't very nice at the moment.
No, it's the government. It's the government that's being the asshole, and not like the people who are against the war and such. So yeah, there are like two sides to this. I mean, over here, apparently Russian restaurants or whatever are being annoyed, being bothered by other people because they happen to be Russian, and that's a bit unfair, I think.
Yeah, it's very unfair. Yeah, that's how people were. I mean, when the pandemic started, they were kind of nasty against the Chinese people as well. Like they can do anything about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Human
Oh, so
nature, huh?
another person has a question, which is for Melting Man. Favorite obscure manga?
Oh, obscure manga. It's a bit of a tough one. I'm not that knowledgeable with most manga. That's more of my sister's thing, but I guess mine would probably be like an obvious choice. Like, oh yeah, the Sonic Dash and Spin. Those are the ones that we've covered a few times on the stream. But yeah, those are mangas that never got released in America, and I've never really seen anyone talk about them. And of course, that's probably because of the lack of translations. But yeah, maybe one day there will be a full-on translation. I'm still working on that.
Yeah, well, that's obviously a obscure manga, so yeah,
Yeah.
right in the correct alley.
Yeah, not based on an obscure series, but the manga itself is obscure, I suppose.
Yeah.
I guess my most obscure manga would be Doctor Slump, even though it's not that obscure, I think. But from the creator of Dragon Ball, after all.
Mm.
As a
Oh,
Phoenix
yeah,
Wright mangas, I like those too.
Hmm. I guess one other obscure manga I can think of is Shrek the manga, which is
No,
real, but I haven't really seen it.
no, Captain, not everything is JoJo. He's saying in the chat, little known series called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Very little known, yes.
Uh,
Oh well.
Mhm.
All right, yeah. Shall we start talking about? Well, maybe the new Pokemon might be interesting to talk about. Sylvia's been.
Oh yeah, the new generation thing that got recently announced.
Well,
yeah,
not even
that
that
too,
one.
yeah.
Still the Arceus or something. I mean, yeah, I was
Pokeball.
shocked they already announced the next one. I mean, jeez.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, like they've just released like over a month ago the game Pokemon Legends Arceus, whatever, however you pronounce it, and now just a few weeks later they announced a new generation of Pokemons.
Yeah, which means it's that time of year again to start praising the fire one and start hating on the water one for no reason.
Well, it's not that bad actually. I mean, I've seen a lot of good comments about the duck Pokemon. I forgot the names.
I just call it Donald Duck with a toupee.
Exactly. Yeah. And as everyone calls the plant type, it was like a weed cat because
Yeah,
it has the colors and such.
yeah. First Silver gets to put up with all the weed jokes back then, and now it's this little guy's turn.
Dun dun dun. Yeah.
Yeah, but wow, especially compared with Sonic, how long it takes for a new game is kind of shocking. Like, well, Pokemon is just knocking them out. I mean, I still feel like Pokemon Sword is still pretty new. It's already like 2 games ahead behind now. Huh.
Yeah, Sword of Shield is like 2 years old now, almost.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
But I feel like it had like a silent death because at the first everyone was like, "Oh, this looks great," but once people started playing it, the popularity just started dropping, and now it's like radio silence. Like, and now Pokemon Legends Arceus has appeared, and people are talking a lot about it.
Yeah, I guess open world to really refresh it in a way that it really desperately needed. So that's nice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been enjoying it quite a bit. Sure, there were some changes because it's like an more open worldish game, and the battle systems and all that, and catching Pokemon has changed. But I think it's for the best, and I'm also glad that it's actually just one game instead of being two separate games like Pokemon Red, Blue, or like Yellow back then. And it's just one game where you can catch all the Pokemon, not like needing two games to get several Pokemon that aren't in one or the other game. So
I wonder if now the next one they announced with the Italian town is basically what would have been the alternative version. Because it looked like they're recycling a lot of the stuff. The environments look pretty much the same. It's just the main town that's new.
mm, give me 1 sec.
Yeah,
You can continue talking. Don't worry.
just released already.
Yeah.
Subsequently.
Well, I just noticed something in the comments. Oh, I'm waiting for a Sonic movie Madness manga adaptation.
Oh. Well, hey,
Oh, like
anyone is welcome to draw their own webcomic version of it.
I could imagine they would just be having a freaking field day with the whole hot spring scene with Team Rose.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh, the captain showed us something important. I have to get it.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
Mm-hmm. Alright, we were just looking at something Cam posted in the Discord chat.
Oh yeah. I think it should be safe to put that on the screen for a moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already there. Never mind. But yeah, I mean, with silver, it's like the color doesn't match, of course, but the cat one is like, yeah, I can see where people are going for.
Drug jokes.
Yeah, drugs are bad.
Yeah, go get them at every coffee shop.
Oh man, I've been watching the Pokemon Arceus gameplay, and I'm constantly thinking, oh man, is Sonic Frontiers gonna look like this? Because I have to admit, I found the landscape really boring in this game. It feels like these old DOS games from 1994, where it's just grass with a bunch of trees. It's like, I mean, isn't it supposed to take place in ancient Japan? Make it more Japanese. I want to see more bamboo trees and shrines and waterfalls and nice...
And mountains.
Like more landscapey things. This is so empty and boring. I mean, I guess because they focus so much on the gameplay and the console has to remember all 100,000 models of Pokemon, they don't really have the processing power to do that. But
yeah, I've seen it on screen now. It's like, yeah, I can see it's a fall theme, but in general, yeah, it kind of looks more like a barren wasteland.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, there's one landscape that was really like a volcanic environment. I was trying to look for that one. That looks really boring. But it has
actually that would be cool. The Pokemon trainer climbing a freaking volcano, dodging lava as it goes up.
And then they find a Magmar inside of there. Hey, just a reference to like the first seasons of Pokemon, where they went to a gym. I think that was at a volcano, and there was like a Magmar Pokemon was coming out of the lava. That was like, whoa. Back then.
that was the one where they fought a gym leader or something, but
yeah,
it's been a while since I've seen that particular episode.
Yeah, but then these days it feels a bit like, oh, it's not that exciting anymore whenever a Pokemon appears. But back then it was like a Magmar coming out of a freaking volcano. Like, awesome.
Yeah, oh, Magmar, oh, Gengar, oh, this and that. Yeah, that was that was cool back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool introductions. Except the Porygon one. We never got that in the US.
Oh, yeah, with the epileptic issue in Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, the
exactly. Well, anyway, back to Legends. Yeah, I think it's an improvement. Like I said, what Roger said about the environment, it doesn't feel very Japanese, but I'm thinking they're more going for the... it's mostly Japanese, but they throw in a lot of like more European or American environment in it, just to keep it familiar for players outside of Japan, but still having some bits of uniqueness to it. One of the details I did like that was like typical kind of Japanese, I think, or Asian, however you want to say it, is that when you go into your house or anyone else's house, the first bit of the entrance is like the lower part. You still have your shoes on, but once you go up a few steps, your shoes go off, which is a thing they do in Japan. They have like a small entrance where you put down your shoes. So that's like a little detail that's not being mentioned, but still nice to see in the game.
Yeah, the town is great. The town does properly represent ancient Japan, and that has a lot of details. It's just the environments around it that's boring. And I worry the same about the new one, where the Italian village looks super awesome, and the actual landscapes you see like super generic again. Like, I don't know. I'm just obsessed with environments, I guess. It's kind of my weird quirk. I mean, the older Pokemon games, you had dungeons and multiple towns, and you had more of a feel like I was really on a journey. Well, it just feels like you're just dropped in a grass field, like, oh, grab
I'm feeling a bit like a ranger. Like, well, of course, like part of the group that does help out with stuff and doing research for Pokemons and everything. But like you said, you don't really see many other villages, and you just go out, explore, research Pokemon for the Pokédex to gain experience, blah blah, and help out Pokemons that have gone haywire, pretty much. I'm not gonna say too much because spoilers. So, uh, yeah, I feel more like a ranger than a Pokemon trainer in this game, which is no problem at all. But yeah, it's a bit of a change.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I just feel like if I was playing, I was kind of missing that. It's like, well, what is the what replaces the gyms? What replaces the Team Rocket bases? What replaces the sense of adventure?
Yeah,
Like I felt more like I was on a journey and really going into special events and discovering about the world, which is kind of missing here. It's much more just go
if
catch Pokemon, nothing else happening. Like okay,
yeah, well, in the old games, you're like exploring the world, but this one is more like exploring different parks in a area you are at,
I guess
if
so.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, that's just me. The gameplay is much better. Yeah, I love how you can just throw a Pokeball right in Pokemon's face to stun them.
Yeah, without needing to go into battle straight away, you just hide in the bushes and throw the Pokeball. Which I also noticed someone mentioning online that in the games we used to, usually you have to find the Pokemons inside the bushes. But now you are the one who hides in the bushes to catch the Pokemons who are outside the bushes.
Oh my.
You are the
Hey,
bully now.
yeah,
Revenge, finally. Perhaps all the Pokemon learned it from you because this is a prequel, right? So you taught them those skills. So you're
yeah,
at fault
probably,
for those
yeah,
Pokemon doing it in later games. It was you
yeah.
all along.
Dun, dun, dun.
Guilty.
Yeah, like mentioned in the chat, it's I can see why people are saying Breath of the Wild because when I first started playing Legends, I kept using the buttons from Breath of the Wild, which is very odd. Like I wanted to dash, and then I pushed the one button that was for dashing for Breath of the Wild, but it was a different button for Arceus. So that was a bit confusing at the start. But yeah, I can see
Understandable,
what.
yeah.
Yeah, but I still think that Breath of the Wild looks nicer with the trees and such. I mean, Roger mentioned it, like the trees didn't look that nice, and yeah.
Well, it isn't that so much that the trees look bad. It's more like it feels like three different art styles clashing with each other. I mean, I should find a better screenshot to demonstrate, maybe, but it feels like I mean the like the ground feels very painty, like they painted it.
Mhm.
Wait, I think I have a screenshot here, even though it has stupid text on it.
It's alright if there's a bit of text on it, like dialogue or.
I found a better one. But yeah, the shadows on the trees is kind of weird, and I think that's like a deliberate art style to make it. Kind of reminds me of Okami, the wolf game. That also had this very cel shaded style, where also
Yeah.
the shadows were very dark. But in that game, everything looked like that, so it became like its style in and on itself. Like it's like the whole game was drawn on like a classical Japanese painting. But here you have like three art styles. I mean, the ground looks very painted, but
Hmm.
then all the plants that move are 3D models and very cell shaded, so they look very flat, like these old cartoons where cells were drawn on a painted background. So it kind of calls attention to itself. That is very
Hmm.
nice. And then the characters look even flatter, and I don't know. It's like three art styles clashing with each other, and it kind of hurts my eyes a bit. I mean, I guess you eventually get used to it, but
Yeah, I
also,
mean,
yeah.
the first. Yeah, sorry. Go on.
What also drives me nuts is I think the ground is supposed to be wet at all times, but it's really like distracting to me. It's like there's constantly these white spots on the ground. And it looks very weird to me, but oh well. But yeah, you keep talking.
Yeah, like the first day of playing, like I played a lot that day, like several hours, like 5 hours or so, and I started to get sore eyes from it because I wasn't used to it, to the whole environment and all that. I mean, some people played like bigger games that are like whoa more graphic, but maybe because the clashing and such, like my eyes needed to get used to it. It gave me a bit of a headache. So, or maybe it's just me.
Probably. It took me time to get used to it either. But hey, the gameplay is good, so that's all that matters. That's kind of like Nintendo's thing, isn't it?
Mm.
The gameplay is
Yeah.
always super amazing, even if the other elements are a bit meh. But yeah, you hear that Melting Man is not particularly interested in talking about this, so maybe we should change the topic.
Yeah, I don't have much knowledge of Pokemon. I'm more familiar with the anime, but for like games, I mostly just play the spin-offs, like Pokemon Pinball and Hey You Pikachu, and had the misfortune of playing Pokemon Channel. But
Are you
yeah,
still
I don't have
watching the
much to
anime?
say. Oh no, I've lost track of that years ago, so I've completely lost at this point.
Because it suddenly reminded me, but the anime is always following the games, right? Because I knew they did the Sun and Moon Pokemon, an adaptation for that. Now I wonder
Hmm.
if they actually got to Sword and Arceus.
Yeah, they've done like the more recent Pokemon and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. It's been way too long since I've tried to keep track of the anime.
So I guess the current anime must be about Ash being thrown back in time.
I know there's only one Pokemon film that actually is a proper adaptation of the games, and that's crap, I can't remember. I know it focuses on like the red guy from like Pokemon Red, but that's it.
Yeah, we've seen it. It was like an anniversary movie. Complete
Yeah.
remake of the first game, except that they suddenly introduced the Mecha Charizard at the end, I think, as a reference to the new game.
Mm. Well, I think a bit like with Sun and Moon. It came out that came out like several years ago already, and the anime came out around the same time, but only just this week or last week they brought Sun and Moon Pokemons to Pokemon Go, which I think is rather late. They did brought out like the Geodude, I think, and one other. But only just now they brought out more Pokemons to go. Why? I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, like the starter Pokemons from Sun and Moon and such, they only just appeared now.
Huh.
Yeah, it's. I feel like that's kind of what Nintendo's been doing recently. Because like aside from that, they also announced that like, oh, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we're getting brand new tracks for it. It's like, yeah, that game that's been out for like 2 years, and suddenly now they decided to add a new content for it.
More than 2 years if you count the Wii U version.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of fun. It's both the starter game for the Wii U and the starter game for the Switch, the launch game.
Let's see which year it was. It was like 2017.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, 2017. The Mario Kart 8 came out on the Wii U and Switch, and only just now they have the update, and the update is like every like few months when there's like a new update, like a new DLC or something. I forgot what it was. I
Tracks, I
just
Yeah,
think.
there's
can't
like
get that good.
it's basically like every month there's a new cup that comes on, and it's just like a compilation of remastered tracks from all the past Mario Kart games.
But yeah, that's
Yeah,
why it's so shocking to me that Pokemon has already a new sequel. I mean, Grand Theft Auto is just keeping recycling the same game. Like Mario Kart hasn't made any progress. Like Sonic barely has new games. Like everything is super slowed down. Like modern graphics are so impossibly complex that game developers can barely make games anymore, and it takes forever. And yet Pokemon just keeps knocking them out every year. Huh.
yeah, probably having different teams. Like, well, it's obviously that Legends had a different team than, for example, the new ones.
Probably. And they
Mm.
probably recycle a lot of stuff. I mean, it's the same with Sega with the Yakuza games. I mean, those also come out every year. And it's clearly because they recycle the same city over and all that sort of thing.
Hmm.
Gotta save money somewhere, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of why I'm against super modern graphics now. It feels like games have become too bloated and complex and expensive to make nowadays. But then that's just me.
Yeah.
Oh well. So yeah, now we
Uh,
talked about something Melton Man can barely talk about. So now let's talk about something Sylvia can barely talk about.
Well, that's a good timing because someone has a Sonic question, which is asked by Willie Jackson. The question is, what's your favorite Sonic game?
To who is the question asked?
To everyone, I think. I mean, it
yeah,
doesn't
pretty
really
much.
say like to anyone. It's just like, what's your favorite Sonic game?
For me, it's a toss up between Sonic 3 Knuckles, Sonic Adventure, or Sonic Generations, depending on what mood I'm in. Sonic 3 Knuckles is probably the best whole game. Generation is the best one to kind of, if you quickly want to play a level for a quick action boost. Well, Sonic Adventure is my favorite in terms of just general atmosphere and tone. If that makes sense. And you, Melting Man. Still Sky Patrol?
No, Amy's American Page 1.
I knew it.
But my actual favorite Sonic games, well, like from the classic era, it'd probably be like Sonic 2. Even though I never really grew up on that, but it's like, oh yeah, Sonic 2, that's fun fun game to play to run through. But when it comes to collecting the Chaos Emeralds, yeah, I always go like Sonic only, because trying to get them with the Tails AI tagging along, yeah, screw that. As for like modern games, that's where I mostly grew up in. So mostly the adventure games, like Sonic Adventure 2. I also enjoyed Sonic Unleashed.
You just said that to please the captain, that's mostly it.
Well, like Big the Cat was like okay in Sonic Adventure. I had no beef with it, but going for the A ranks in there, that was a freaking nightmare, because like, oh, you gotta catch a certain fish with like a certain number, and like you can't rank it up or anything. No, you gotta catch that big fish with the exact high number, and there's too many damn big fishes that look the same, so it's so annoying. But hey, at least I won 100% at least once, so at least I can plow through all the Game Gear Sonic games with no cost.
Well, applause.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not really a big Sonic gamer, but if I have to say a game that I like, it would be Sonic Mania, mostly because the music and the fact that actually it has been nostalgic for all the gamers as such, so that the joy that people got out of it. So that's something that I enjoyed seeing online, like, oh, this is nice, and all that, and characters coming back. Yeah, I would say for me it will be Sonic Mania, but just mostly for the music.
About to say you and I might be enemies, because it is kind of well known that I have a. It is kind of well known that I have a bit of a prejudice against Sonic Mania.
But like I said, I'm not a big Sonic gamer. So if I had played the older games back then when I growing up as such, I would have said like, oh, maybe this was my favorite, or maybe Knuckles was my favorite. But at this age, like experiencing it, I have to say Sonic Mania. Sorry.
That's fair enough. We'll just leave it at that, because otherwise I'll just go into a big angry rant over Mania.
Ooh, we don't want that.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Right, yeah, this is awkward, so we deliberately picked this topic because the captain wanted to talk about it, and now he's in here, so I guess now we have to drop in. Yeah, we figured since a bit of a break episode, we could talk about the Sonic and Tails R radio show.
Yes, the audio drama series, yeah.
Sonic Unleashed.
Oh my god!
Oh, what the hell?
It was a ghost. It was the ghost of Captain. No.
He died during his battle against Captain Obvious. Oh no.
Where did it come from? Huh?
It was from Discord. He popped up for a second and then popped away again.
Yeah.
Just to freak us out for a bit.
Yeah. Well, I heard a bloop bloop noise, which is when someone is coming into the call, and then he just left again.
Just a quick prank. Oh, that was a cameo of Captain Theory. Bye for sir. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this. So, created by Amy Jones, who's known on YouTube for making awesome remixes. And she got a surprisingly shocking amount of Sonic officials around to help her out with this project. Almost every Sonic main character is portrayed by one of the voice actors, old and new. Especially Ryan Drummond, of course, returning from the Sonic Adventure era for the first time, doing Sonic again. Mike Pollock as the most modern actor and the only still relevant one, doing Dr. Eggman.
Yeah.
And several more. David Humphrey, even though he never played as Knuckles before, but he played Knuckles this time. He was a shadow voice actor of Sonic Adventure 2. And even... why can't I come up with the name? I'm terrible with games. Griffith, the other Sonic voice actor?
Jason Griffith.
Jason Griffith, there we go. Showing up as Shadow. So, hey, we got two Sonic voice actors together. Almost like that Spider-Man movie. Too bad Rex Smith didn't join in.
Yeah, at least Jason Griffith was always best at voicing Shadow. Like, Kurt Thornton is just meh, but knowing him, it's like, well, he's better off at just voicing Sayax from the Kingdom Hearts series and whatever anime character he feels like voicing.
Fair enough, fair enough. Lisa or is it showed up as Amy again?
Yeah, the Sonic X voice of Amy. Yeah, she comes back in this one.
And the modern Big the Cat voice showed up for Big the Cat. And what other celebrity? Oh yeah, and Aaron Weber from the Twitter account showed up as a gun agent.
Oh, he was in there? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, well, I didn't recognize his voice either, but was said in the comments. And of course, the original Silver voice actor, which name I escaped now, Pete Capaldi or something. I'm terrible with names. I'm so sorry.
I can't remember what the original voice actor for Silver, what his name is.
Something like that. But yeah, a very impressive list of people who join in. So that was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so you got all of those together. So you managed to get a couple new songs there too. I found him personally a little too low energy for Sonic. Then again, he's more known for more somber, quieter versions of Sonic songs more than the intense ones. But yeah, a couple interesting songs. And so she did a 10-episode audio drama about a little story she wrote, apparently.
Yeah.
It was a little disappointing to me. I don't know what I expected, but it was very basic. It felt like it should have been like cutscene from a video game. Because that's one thing I have to compliment it for. Like, very often I get, well, not that often, but I've gotten some people sending me in their script for what a Sonic Adventure 3 should be like. That's supposed to be like a Sonic script for a video game, and yet it's clearly they didn't write it as a video game. They just go on with endless tangents about lore and backstory, and there's like an hour of story being written down before the first level would have started. So like, wow, if this is a video game, it'd be like Metal Gear Solid or something. So it was kind of funny, but this audio story does feel very much like it has the rhythm of a video game. Like every chapter, they meet up one Sonic friend and go to a new location. There's always like an enemy, like what would have been a boss fight. So this really feels like you could really like animate this for a video game or something.
And of course, getting the collectible MacGuffins, where here they're collecting the shattered pieces of the Chaos Emeralds, which like, oh, that's kind of interesting. We've seen the Master Emerald break a couple of times, but never the Chaos Emeralds.
Oh, I think the captain wants to join in, so he's preparing himself. So maybe we should wait for a bit before continuing in.
Hello.
Ah, there he is again. Hi, Captain.
Hi. I don't think my voice changer's on, but sorry if I sound very, very sick, because I certainly feel like it. I just couldn't not talk about this series. I think it's very fantastic. It's like the writing is spot on, the characterization is perfect, the pacing is really well done. It's awkwardly written because it's an audio drama, which means characters often have to describe what they see, but like that's just the nature of it. But other than that, it's fantastic to listen to. I enjoyed.
There is in it because, like you said,
yeah.
It's an audio drama. You think, okay, they can't do action scenes in that because they would describe it, and yet the first episode immediately machine guns, explosions. Like, whoa, okay.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Like they really let your imagination run wild with what's going on, but like it's like it's done in such a way that like you have a good idea of what they're going for.
Mm-hmm.
And the music is fantastic. That they have some original music, including like Ted Poley, I think, came back to help write one of their songs. That's fantastic. I love everything about this. It's exactly what I feel like Sonic should be.
Oh yes, definitely. It has a better grasp on like, at least what we think Sonic is all about. Not the meta era or boom or whatever. Like, no, this is
exactly, yeah.
For the most part.
Characterization was spot on. Yep, absolutely. It was kind of weird to hear Mike Pollock do a straight Eggman again. I mean, he kind of was straight in Sonic Forces, but he barely had screen time there.
It's so good. I had concerns about it, like when I first heard about it. I'm like, how is this gonna work? But like, I enjoyed every minute of this series. It's so fantastic. I wish there was more to it.
Yeah. That's nice to hear. Although I will say, like, in the first episode, it does kind of feel a little off. Ryan Drummond's trying to get back into doing his Sonic voice, but in later episodes, he gets more of the hang of it. So it's still nice. He's still got it in there after all these years.
Yeah, and I was kind of shocked how much he sounds like one of my voice actors I use for Sonic. So I guess I got my own. No, I wasn't referring to you. I'm sorry.
But there actually is some interesting trivia about the voice cast. Is that originally David Humphrey was going to voice Shadow for the series, but they ended up changing the script at some point, and he wasn't around to re-record his lines. So that's when Jason Griffith came in, and he voiced Shadow, and he's my absolute favorite Shadow. It was so amazing to listen to him again. It's so good to be able to take Shadow seriously.
Yeah, and he finally has that softer spot again. So this is the only time I ever feel like this is the Shadow from Sonic 06 and beyond. With the characterization complete.
Yeah.
I mean, he has his intensity, but he has a softer spot as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, because of the change, if you watch their like outtakes videos, there's actually a time where like Jason Griffith, like while reading for Shadow, would also read Sonic's lines. So that was fantastic. And so I guess they edited in David Humphrey's Shadow in there as well, so you get to hear Jason's Shadow, Sonic, and David's Shadow.
Oh wow!
And it was so good to hear all that.
Like I said, almost like this Spider-Man movie. Yeah, sorry, Melting Man.
Yeah, you said for like David Humphrey, usually does like Shadow. He never really did Knuckles before, right?
Yeah, he never did Knuckles.
Yeah, that is interesting because like when I remember listening to the first episode, and I'm like, damn, that sounds like the previous Knuckles one from like the adventure games. It sounds very spot on, but like, no, it's the Shadow guy.
He did a very good job imitating the original voice. Which voice actor I don't know now. Captain, you're the actor.
There was two Knuckles voice actors in the adventure games. The one between Adventure 1 and 2 changed. So in Adventure 2 it was I'm trying to remember his name. Hold on.
I do know it's Sonic Shuffle that Ryan Drummond did it.
Yeah, Ryan Drummond voiced him in that one.
It was Scott Dreer in Sonic Adventure 2, and it was Michael McGarren in Sonic Adventure 1.
Okay. Yeah, kind of funny. So Ryan Drummond and Roger Greg Smith both did Sonic and Knuckles at some point at the same time in the game.
Here's a fun fact, though. In Sonic Underground, Knuckles was voiced by Brian Drummond.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's the only character who has been voiced by Ryan Drummond and Brian Drummond. And, by the way, they are not related. That is pure coincidence.
Yeah, that happens, I suppose. Funny how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
But Sonic and Tails R.
It's definitely Oh, go ahead.
One thing that kind of confused me in one episode is at one point they were in Alaska in episode 4, I think, and after that they were still in Alaska, I think. I mean, that's what a YouTube description said, and they didn't go anywhere else. But then you got the gun chase action sequence, where like Shadow. Yeah, we should talk about that later. It was a pretty awesome twist. But the gun soldiers get reprimanded for endangering civilians, which kind of confused me. Like, weren't they on the North Pole, basically, Alaska? Oh, well. Maybe I misheard it or something.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of callbacks to like the adventure games with all like the bits of dialogue and bits. Like, and I think the one thing I felt that kind of felt a bit forced was the whole bit with Shadow, like, it all comes down to this and blah 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 blah. It's like, it's a line of his first. Like, I think that's the only time I felt like it was a bit forced. Like everything else, like it just felt fine and natural. I especially loved
it. They put a lot of meme lines in there. I mean, even "It's No Use" from Silver.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I hated. But other than that, I was fine with like most of the other stuff. I definitely was kind of giddy hearing like Mike Pollock, yelling his like, "I am Dr. Ivo Robotnik," and I'm like, yes.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
He rarely gets to say the Robotnik name. I think he only did twice, as far as I remember. Once in Lego Dimensions and one in here.
Yeah, he came close to saying it in Lego Dimensions, and
he said it in the first ever Sonic Twitter takeover when someone asked him what his first name was, And he responded, Evo. Did you
Evo?
forget my last name was Robotnik? Yeah, he. It should be pronounced Evo, but I'm always going to call him Ivo.
Yeah, I always thought it was pronounced Ivo.
It's OV backwards, so.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so here he does say Ivo Robotnik, so that's pretty great.
Kind of funny because Ivo sounds kind of Russian-esque, and Robotnik is a Polish word, I think. So
yep,
they're really hammering in that he should be from Western Europe, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. I just know that in Adventures of Sonic, he always pronounced it as Ivo. But yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds more natural to me too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. But yeah, it was pretty awesome, the twist with the gun soldiers. What they were talking about them, about their superior. Like maybe you want to talk about that, Captain?
Yeah. So after so these 3 gun soldiers, I think it's 3 specifically. The one is voiced by Aaron Weber, another is voiced by Pat Seymour, and I don't know the third one, but yeah, they all have a grudge against Sonic because he evaded them in an earlier episode. So they're trying everything they can to get back at him. And they end up using some experimental gun technology and putting a lot of civilians in danger. And Shadow gets freaking pissed about it. And he starts lecturing them. And they don't know who he is. And somehow they don't know who he is. And he's like, your superior will be furious. And they're like, you shut your mouth. What do you know about what our superior thinks? Because you're talking to him. And that was
great.
Yeah.
That was a great
It's weird that they wouldn't know who he is. But it was a great moment anyway.
It's the one person in the entirety of Gun that isn't a human. Well, maybe besides Rouge then, I guess. So you think
maybe he's just new to the job.
Who would have guessed that Shadow the Hedgehog was Gun Operative Shadow?
It's such a common name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. But yeah, I love the fact they actually had a callback to that Shadow's still working for Gun. It's like that modern games don't really seem to remember. Or...
Yeah, they've largely abandoned Gun in general, especially with the whole team thing. It's just, oh, Shadow, he's there, just not doing much. He's just there.
Yeah, they've pretty much retconned Gun, which is weird because Team Dark is still a thing, but now they don't have a purpose.
Well, Team Dark is kind of more of Schrödinger's cat, more just a yes and no response, because Sega's very they feel like they just can't make up their minds. Oh, is Team Dark still a thing? Are they not? I don't know.
Yeah, it was a pretty awesome twist. So yeah, they did do a lot of fun things in the story.
It was so nice to hear this. I especially loved hearing so many previous voice actors, especially a lot of the 4Kids cast, because there was Pete Capella, there was Lisa Ortiz, there was Jason Griffith, there was even Oliver Wyman as Big.
Ah, yeah.
See, that's why we need the captain. He knows all those actors' names. I told you.
Yeah.
Just rattling him off like nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely feels very adventure-esque. Not quite Sonic Adventure 3. I imagine that would my idea that would be something more bigger and different. But this is definitely more like a spiritual successor or more of a tribute to the adventure games, the way it's written.
Oh, actually, now that you mention adventure for the 5th time, I'm suddenly reminded there was that other moment where Sonic and Tails brought up Chaos and Shadow didn't know who that was. And it suddenly occurred to me that Shadow and Chaos have actually never met.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the Chaos did have artificial forms in the arc.
Yeah.
That's how Sonic also reminds him.
So you would think Shadow would at least know of Chaos. But, yeah, it made me realize that Shadow and Chaos have actually never met.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny that, Sonic decided to describe Chaos as imagine the Bio-Lizard, but made of water.
Oh, yeah.
Because, that actually is the inspiration for the Bio-Lizard, was Chaos.
Though I suppose some would argue, well, he technically, oh, yeah, sorry. I meant to say, some would argue, well, Shadow did meet Chaos in Sonic Forces, but no, that's just more of just a fake illusion. That doesn't really count.
Yeah. And besides, don't think we can say definitively whether this series takes place before or after Forces anyway.
No, that's true.
I just like to pretend that Forces never happened. That's just how much I hate the game.
Oh dear.
Because we have
really
a better
such a hateable game. It's just kind of boring. Like I don't hate Forces. It's a fun game.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Could have been so much more.
Yeah, that, and then of course the whole classic Sonic retcon that just makes me want to pull my hair out because it just completely fucks up the whole timeline and everything.
Hey, I want to draw a little bit during the stream, so I don't constantly have to pick up images. Anyone in the chat has any requests for me or something? Sorry about that. Back to Sonic Tails R. But yeah, so there's a big twist or big plot focus on the fact that Tails becomes super this time. So
yeah, that's interesting.
Oh yeah,
because like Super Tails is technically not canon. So, like, his only real appearance is Sonic Heroes, in which that's just Sonic giving Tails and Knuckles a shield.
Oh, yeah. He also had a super form in Sonic 3, but that's different.
Only Sonic 3 and Knuckles, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because he can only go super with the Hyper Emeralds. And the Hyper Emeralds are not canon, so...
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was kind of a big deal, Tails going super for the first time. That was pretty cool. And they take on Eggman's Egg Ghidorah, which I knew from the descriptions. I'm like, oh, is that supposed to be Ghidorah? And yeah, they call it the Egg Ghidorah. I'm like, oh, that's subtle.
Well, considering the fact that Sonic's gone through like a whole bunch of giant kaiju giant monsters thing, you'd think we would have gotten some Godzilla stuff by now, but nope, leave it to the fans.
Yeah. And like Eggman was surprisingly gracious in defeat this time. I like that. It felt very adventurous.
Wasn't Tails also going super in Sonic Heroes, or was he just dragged along with Super Sonic?
I said that.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, Tails technically goes super in that game, but it's really just Sonic giving Tails and Knuckles a shield. They're not really going super. Which I'm disappointed in.
So it's kind of like what I did in a parody of just kind of get sucked along with Super Sonic. I think I made it kind of fun of that, yeah. But yeah, okay. Although I have to say, the whole, like by the end of the Sonic and Tails R, they did this whole moral that was about Tails learning to trust others. I didn't really get the impression that was what the story was about. It kind of gave me Lost World flashbacks again, like we suddenly get a moral that wasn't really established before.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't as annoying as in Lost World, so don't get me wrong. In Lost World, it was really painful because all the characters were so aggressive about it.
I'm just realizing I need to re-listen to the series because like the parts came out so far away from each other. I hardly remember the earlier episodes, and I pretty much just watched episode 6 over and over again because that's the one where Shadow's the main character. So,
of course,
I just enjoyed listening to that so much. But yeah, overall, it's a fantastic series. I recommend it for anyone who's a fan of Sonic. Just go listen to it. It's amazing.
Alrighty, there we go then. Did I have anything else to say about it? I don't recall. Yeah. Now what? Melting Man, you have something to say? You want to talk about something?
Yeah, I did have another thing on my agenda to talk about for this random stream.
Your agenda. Oh, boy.
My short agenda of 2 things. The whole... Did I? Crap, I can't remember now. I know, okay, I'll just go with the one I know on the top of my head. Recently, I decided to give Team Sonic Racing a fair chance.
And are you fair against it?
See. Well, I decided to play it. I got it for free because of the whole PlayStation Plus membership that was going on in March. So after playing it, it's like, just meh. Like, the one thing that really turned me off was just not because of like, oh, Sonic Forces, it was the game that broke me and I gave up on the franchise. Like, no, like aside from that, the one thing that really turned me off at first about Team Sonic Racing was the whole team play mechanic. Like, oh great, I gotta babysit brain dead AIs just so I can actually win a damn race. So that kind of turned me up. But then after experiencing it, like, okay, it's not that bad as I thought it would be. I did pretty good. I think I only lost once in the story mode, but that seemed to have no effect. I don't know if that's how it is in general, but yeah, I usually had no problem. I was able to give my teammates plenty of weapons I didn't need when I was up in first place. So that was nice. That was a nice way to change up the gameplay a bit, because like mostly when I'm in like first place and I keep running into item boxes, it's like, yeah, I can't really do much with it because I'm like way far ahead of the racers, and there's usual like blockades, like blocks or cones, whatnot, to slow them down. It's like, hey, now I can give them to my teammates so I don't have to bother with it. But yeah, that's like basic gameplay. It's pretty meh. Luke and I already went more in depth about like the big differences between content and how it's handled in this game and in Teams CTR Nitro Fueled. Obviously, CTR Nitro Fueled wins by default. But yeah, like content wise, like yeah, it's pretty lousy. Like the car parts that you add to your car, it's like, yeah, there's only like 3 of them technically. I mean, it's just 3 different pieces, and then the next 3 are just the same, but now they're painted gold, and you can't really like paint over them and whatnot. But yeah, and as for like the rest of my criticism, it's kind of the same as what you and the captain already brought up in Team Sonic Racing Dissected. The whole lack of more creative decisions, the fact that Shadow the Hedgehog is out of character, that it just pisses me off, and all this other stuff. And of course, the game that introduced Dodonpaw, the character that barely has any fan arts. Not even the Sonic porn artists want to bother with that guy.
Yeah, the most unpopular. Well, I don't know if unpopular even counts it, because that would imply people even have any thoughts about him. I think everyone just forgets he exists.
Yeah, that is the thing. Like, Team Sonic Racing is kind of similar to Sonic 4. You look back at it and it's like, oh yeah, Team Sonic Racing, that was a thing, and that's it.
It's a shame because the foundation of it is pretty good, but yeah, it just does not contain any interesting content. I wish they really went further to the original stuff. Like have a racetrack based on Blaze Kingdom or something. Like don't just have like Egypt the level and Ice the level. Like I already went on a rant about that. So
yeah, I mean, like heck, like in CTR Nitro Fuel, they featured a lot of tracks that are like based off of certain levels, and of course more original tracks like the Coco's park area, and especially when they add in the more extra bonus tracks, where we get a little more like, oh, here's a post-apocalyptic racetrack. Oh, now we get to explore Nitrous Oxide's home planet. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember there was like the final track I think they made was like fast food restaurants in space. It kind of reminds me again of Team Sonic Racing, because they had a theme about the car dealership in space. So they could have had a level like that. It would have been fun.
Yeah, the fast food driveway thing, yeah, for the last one. It's kind of funny how it seems like in every Crash Racing game, the final track is always a space level. Because, the first game, oh, it's a Oxide spaceship. And then the Nitro Kart, oh, it's running around in a space in Emperor Velo's stadium. And then here we've got, like, oh, space drive-through pizza burger place.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, Sonic also often ends in space, so he can't say anything about it, except Team Sonic Racing, I guess.
Team Sonic Racing didn't. Oh yeah. Though it is kind of weird that we see Mother Wisp there, since like that's a character that was only in the DS version of Sonic Colors, which obviously no one's played, so they're gonna be like, hey, what the hell is this creature?
Oh well, it's not like the racing game wasn't allowed to add its own lore to it. And hey, most of us kind of agree that the DS version of Colors was superior anyway, so good to me. I'll just take it as evidence that the Colors version was canon instead of the Wii version.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's kind of funny, because I remember in, like, Archie Sonic's new canon, when that was being established, they actually mentioned events that only happened in the DS version of Colors, and it's like, hey, good on them. Actually remembering the port that everyone keeps saying, like, oh, Sonic Colors is a Wii exclusive for so damn long. That was the one thing that really annoyed me with the reviews for Sonic Colors Ultimate. They always kept saying, like, oh, Wii exclusive, and the DS version is just like, am I a joke to you people?
Yeah,
I mean, to call them the same game is pretty disingenuous.
Yeah, I think it's just a trick for the stockholders, so they can like pretend it had more copies sold, because it's basically 2 different games combined together. Yeah, I hate it too. And still, at least then we actually got handheld games. I missed them.
A little detail I wanted to bring up, because Melting Man mentioned the part customization in Team Sonic Racing. There is a common misconception about the game is that the gold parts are better. They are not. They are exactly the same. The only thing
I noticed that.
Yeah, I think it's started with Gerard the Completionist, because he said that, like, oh, the gold parts are better, but if you equip all 3 of them, your entire card turns gold, and that looks ugly. So he would only equip 2 of them. And I'm like, just don't equip any of them. They are literally the same stats.
Yeah,
they're
really
just
are.
gold.
Yeah, they're just painted gold and nothing else. In fact, that was another thing that I find really stupid with Team Sonic Racing, like, oh, customizing the horn. Like, oh yeah, because, like, when it comes to racing games with customization, I mean, customizing the freaking horn, the thing you use the least in racing games, is the last thing that comes to my mind. And what really pisses me off is that they heavily advertise it in the ads, like, oh, you customize the horn, ooh, yeah, it's just, yeah. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't remember if I ever even used the horn.
Yeah, like, seriously, who the hell even uses a freaking horn in a racing game? You're too focused on, like, you know, driving fast and hitting people with the objects and avoiding obstacles.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's also, like, they limit how much you can customize your car's colors. You can select one of a bunch of different palettes, but you can't, like, make your own custom palette, so it's weird.
Yeah, I think that was what I mentioned in the Gimmick Chaos Theories episode with CTR versus Nitro Fuel. I think that was the only point I gave to Team Sonic Racing, was because you had a little more option to customize the paint jobs with the different themes, unlike in Nitro Fuel, where you're just kind of stuck with the same palette for, like, the entire car, while in Team Sonic Racing, you have, like, 3 different areas to give them, like, unique paint jobs.
Yeah, and you can choose any color on your palette. That's also a problem I had with Crash Nitro Kart, or Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, which I love that game, by the way. But, like, the paint customization is not really the greatest. As an example, there's one car, I don't remember the name of it, but it's a sprint car, and it has a paint job that looks like the American flag, but none of the red, white, and blue paint jobs make it look like the American flag's colors.
Yeah, just throw the American flag sticker on it there.
I found that so weird, because that seemed intentional. Like, it's called Stars and Stripes, it looks like the American flag, but you can't give it the American flag's proper colors.
Yeah, that is really weird.
Maybe a statement or something.
Also, staring at this picture of Fluttershy for so long makes me realize just how long the Equestria girls' legs are and how short their torso is.
Yeah, that is true. Because, like, yeah, they're always in those dresses, and the one thing I always kind of bothered me is, like, just how freaking high those boots are. At least for, like, the first area. They later got, like, new costumes in, like, the web series and other projects. But yeah,
it's a chibi style. Besides, legs are freaking long. I think they are about half the body or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I never draw that correctly.
Yeah.
I don't really care about
Yeah. Even so, Fluttershy is still the best, whether it be Pegasus or human.
Sure.
Maybe they just went for the long legs because horses have, like, long legs.
That's also
I could imagine that. Like,
that's fair enough.
Yeah, like for the boots probably, but yeah, I suppose. I'm actually surprised that whole Equestria Girls thing didn't really, like, overtake the main series of G4. It was just kind of in its own little corner while the series continued on.
And like Sonic Boom, you say?
Yeah, Sonic Boom had its moment of overtaking the main series for a while. But hey, at least it's dead now. And good riddance too.
Oh well. Yeah, now it's over. I don't really have bad feelings about Boom anymore. I mean, it is what it is.
I thought the show was definitely funny at times.
Oh, there were definitely a couple jokes that were funny. It was funnier than the Pontiff games ever were.
Yeah, I tried giving the TV show a chance and just gave up after 5 episodes. It was the first 2 episodes, which opening the first episode with, like, oh, Tails, you're hurt, I gotta replace you. Like, yeah, having that for, like, the first episode is just a bad idea. That's just a bad way of, like, trying to introduce your audience to the series. But yeah,
there was also an issue I have with that episode as well, because, like, Tails gets injured during one of their adventures, and so Sonic gets paranoid that Tails is going to get like severely hurt or killed. So he stops. He tells Tails to stop adventuring with him, and he starts holding auditions for a new sidekick. And Tails like tricks him into letting him audition, and so he's doing these auditions, and the final 3 candidates are Tails, Fastidious Beaver, and Eggman himself for some reason. And Tails almost gets killed during these auditions, and he blames Sonic.
Yeah, that is really stupid. And then, of course, the fact that we see, like, Amy and Knuckles as being candidates, which seems to imply that they're not really, like, friends, or at least Sonic's main friends. They're just random civilians.
Yeah, or at least not competent as sidekicks. And Amy is acting out of character. Yeah, that whole episode is... by the end, that's just Sonic Boom. Just whatever's funny, that's the most important.
Yeah, every
character. I'm really interested
in
having any kind of logic going on.
Yeah. And then, the first episode, I think the second part of the episode really pissed me off, and that was the one with, like, Robotnik's base apparently blew up, and he has to stay in Sonic's house, and he's, driving them crazy, and then by the end it's like, this is all a trick to make them, like, weak and pathetic, and, like, yeah, Sonic and Tails are, but, like, Amy, Sticks, and Knuckles, they're still fine and dandy, and then, you see Sonic trying to struggle, and I'm like, come on, like, you have all these other people, he's standing right there, just fucking kick his ass already, just...
Yeah, that frustrated me.
Yeah.
Sonic Boom too, yeah.
I did notice that, like, while I do find the show funny, I think most of that is Eggman, because there's this one episode, I think it's just called Guilt Tripping, where Sonic and Tails stumble upon this like village of these like weird mole people or whatever, and their entire gag is that they just guilt trip you into helping them. They say things to make them sound pathetic in hopes that you'll help them. And, like, it took me a bit to get the joke. But once I got the joke, it ran its course really quickly, and I hated it. So the episode just declined. And then in, like, the last 2 minutes, Eggman shows up, and it's hilarious.
Yeah. I haven't really seen the other episodes. I've only seen is like the first 2, and then My First Sticks that kind of interests me. Like, Tyler's obviously parodied My Fair Lady, but then Sticks is trying to be all civil and everything. It's like, yeah, that's kind of what I expected Sticks to be more about, because I haven't seen the other episodes, but I assume, like, judging from what people say, it's just, she's wacky and crazy and talking about government politics and conspiracies, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, like, I always prefer Sticks to be, more Tarzan and less crazy cat lady from The Simpsons.
Yeah, they never really played up the jungle concept, except for the animators. The animators did use it because you occasionally see her do, like, cat movements of scratching herself and all that. But in terms of writing, they never really went into her being a Tarzan-type character now. So I was always disappointed by that. Just scream a bunch of random things. That's why I always call Sonic Boom just voice actor theater. It's really just more about the voice actors yelling funny things than really any other kind of content.
If that's the case, I think that's a testament to Mike Pollock's just genius humor, because he does seem to be a really funny guy, like, in real life. So it makes sense that Eggman is the funniest character on the show.
Yeah, especially with Mike Pollock's had quite the history with voice acting outside of Sonic, yeah.
Yeah, as he likes to remind everyone who thinks he is just Eggman.
Yeah.
Cut the guy some slack, people.
Yeah, the one bit that I found hilarious when, like, looking through, like, what other voices he did, it's like, there's a film called, like, I think it was called, like, Journey to Oz or Journey Adventures to Oz. It was something like that. And he voiced the Cowardly Lion in, like, the English dub. And I'm like, oh, great, now I could just imagine Robotnik singing If I Were King of the Forest. That'd be hilarious if that actually did, like, in one of the recent Sonic Twitter takeovers or whatever. That'd be the only time I'd give a damn to watch the Sonic Twitter takeovers.
I think one of the funniest things I learned looking at his resume is his inclusion in the anime Berserk, which is not kid-friendly in the slightest, and yet the anime has a lot of 4Kids voice actors.
I guess the series was just a big Sonic X reunion there.
Because, like, I remember seeing like Wayne Grayson in there, and like the main character has the same voice as Zolo from One Piece, and obviously Mike Pollock. There's just so many like 4Kids actors in this very brutal, gory anime. It's weird.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, but it's so funny because like looking at Mike Pollock's resume, it's like all these kids shows, all this like Viva Pinata, Kirby right back at you, Sonic X, then out of nowhere just Berserk.
That makes me wonder, does like Mike Pollock's character in Berserk does anything like violent? Because I could imagine like someone splicing in its whole like, oh, I will eat your cold hearts and blah blah blah, like spliced in with Berserk footage.
I don't know what his character does, but I do know his character is killed. I think it's cut off. I don't know for sure. I think he like comes back in a later episode or whatever as like Mecha Adon or something like that. I don't know. I don't read Berserk. It's a bit too much for me.
Yeah, it's a little too dark for me too. A little too depressing. Oh well.
Yeah.
Someone asked me if I go to cons.
Yeah, conventions.
Conventions and all that. Yeah, I mean, it's been a while. Last time was in New York, I think. But I usually don't travel too far. Usually just go to London if I go to a con. There's also Dutch cons sometimes. But I mean, I've been to
as it
Detroit
just so happens.
Yeah.
As it just so happens, I'm going to a con next week.
Nice.
In Florida, and originally Dan Green was supposed to be there, and that was going to be awesome because like that would have been the first time I ever met someone who had any association with Sonic whatsoever. But he just recently canceled on that, and they replaced him with a whole bunch of other 4Kids voice actors. So I get to go from meeting Knuckles first to meeting Nelson Thorndike and Scarlett Garcia and Red Pine. So. Yeah, but whatever. Sam Witwer's going to be there, and he's the voice of Darth Maul, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, I was supposed to draw Fluttershy making out to Rainbow Dash. Oh, whoops.
Oh,
well, maybe good thing I didn't. I'm terrible at kissing.
Though, funny enough, that actually did remind me of the other topic I wanted to talk about on the stream.
Yeah, Yuri porn?
No, no, it was the whole My Little Pony Pony Life, that weird spin-off to G4 that I just recently got done watching.
Alright.
Yeah. So yeah, Pony Life, that's it's definitely odd because like it happened after the series ended its 9-season run, and then here's this random spin-off thing with the main 6 doing wacky stuff, and like I kind of already knew what to expect from it from like signing the trailers and whatnot. Although the one thing that really threw me off was like an advertisement for like the Pony Life toys. And the song that they're singing is the whole, I do my hair, well, check my nails, yeah, feeling good as hell. It's like, oh yes, nothing says My Little Pony than the characters constantly screaming hell.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I was hoping that was indicative of what the show is actually going to be like. Because, like, imagine if, like, the G4 ponies were just allowed to swear casually.
Yeah. But no, that doesn't happen in the show. Like, the show itself is kind of, I don't know how to describe it. I guess in some ways it's kind of like... Go? Yeah, people compare it to Teen Titans Go, but I would argue that it's not so Teen Titans, because, like, Teen Titans always likes to have fun of, like, mocking its fans and whatnot, while Pony Life doesn't really do that, and it's definitely not quite Sonic Boom, relying on little meta humor and internet jokes, well, most of the time. But yeah, it's kind of mixed. So, like, it's kind of weird how the episodes are split. So, like, there's 2 segments per episode, but there's usually, like, this ongoing story arc. Like, there's this whole bit, one story I can think of is, like, Fluttershy is trying to get into, like, this Philly Scout thing, but, like, no, she's too old. So, her friends decide to lie and make up all these other events. So, like, it keeps going for a while. And then near the end, it's like, oh, yeah, they meet the Fantastic, the character they've been hyping up for a while. And Fantastic just outright, just flat out says, like, oh yeah, your friends just lied to you about the whole thing. So yeah, it's a bit weird and of course a bit out of character, especially since Applejack is known for being the honesty, which is weird because there definitely are some Pony Life episodes which she'll just blatantly like, oh yeah, I am the pony of honesty, blah blah blah, and I don't know, it just kind of feels a bit forced. But other than that, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, wacky stuff. Pinkie Pie now owns Sugar Cube Corner, and Fluttershy does this and that. And there are some times it does feel kind of decent. Like the ones I like the most were the new character, Potion Nova. She's this new character that makes these magical potions. That's kind of the gimmick at Sugar Cube Corner. Like, oh, they drink it and they usually do like random stuff like, oh, it makes you glow, it makes you fly, blah blah blah. Sometimes it's part of the plot, but most of the time it's just wackiness. But yeah, Potion Nova, that's kind of where the show starts to feel more like G4, with at least how it's kind of written in a way with the lessons and everything. And especially with how Twilight's taking it and she's like, oh, I want to be your apprentice because you're so cool. It's like, oh, okay, it's kind of weird knowing how G4 is, but in Pony Life, Celestia's treated more like a celebrity rather than like, ruler of all of Equestria. But yeah, that's how it is with season 1. It's like, yeah, there's episodes. The only time it feels like it's like how I thought it was going to be was like the whole trend, like, oh yeah, there's episodes where they try to be all trendy on the internet, or Fluttershy doing an unboxing video. And yeah, that's only a good chunk of it, but not too much. It is surprising that they're able to get most of the original voice actors to come back to reprise all their characters. The only exception being...
I think as you were just about to say, Kathy Westluck, the voice of Spike, has not returned. And neither has John Delancey, the voice of Discord, which is very interesting because he was even willing to voice the character for the mobile games that none of the other actors were willing to be in.
Yeah, that is weird. But yeah, so like the new voices, like, well, now we have Tabitha St. Germain, who voices many characters on G4. Well, now she's voicing Spike, and she also does Rarity. Think of that what you will. And as for Discord, he's now voiced by Peter New, which is hilarious because he usually does the voice of Big Macintosh. So now he goes from having barely any lines to having a good amount of lines with doing Discord here. And yeah, so like the new Spike voice, it's definitely more higher pitched, not like deep like in the original. As for Peter New's take, like, yeah, it's okay, it's serviceable, but obviously no John Delancey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the one thing I always found it really mysterious for some reason is so like the show has 2 seasons. First season has 26 episodes. The second season only has 14. But for some reason, the availability of season 2 is very, very cryptic. Like, despite the fact that Hulu has season 1 of the show, there's no season 2. It has been released in America. I've heard it got broadcasted on TV, but when it comes to like physical media and streaming services, it's nowhere to be found, and I have no idea why. So I had to rely on some help from some pony-themed servers to find some alternative ways to watch it. So I have watched season 2, and it's like, it's more the same. It is kind of surprising how in season 2 we see more familiar faces. Like, oh, there's Cadence again. They're Shining Armor. They're hosting a carnival show. And there's Flim and Flam, except they're kind of more just carnival barkers and not scheming anyone. The one bit I found hilarious was Cheerilee. Like, it's a very small cameo where she runs this decoration store. But this version of Cheerilee is, like, so hyper and crazy. It's like she was injected with Pinkie Pie all of a sudden. She's all, like, hyper and her eye twitching, her legs are wiggling around. So, I don't know. I just found that hilarious.
Injected with Pinkie Pie, as if someone got our blood into a bottle and selling it in the supermarket.
Well, I'm sure there's a word of like describing like Pinkie Pie's hyperactive nature because we already have twilighting, so who knows?
I know. Yeah, I wasn't making fun of you. What you said was correct. But just got a weird thought out of it, I guess.
Still, that would be funny. Yeah, injecting Pinkie Pie herself into Cheerilee.
It's even darker. How nice.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my run of killing the chat of talking about My Little Pony stuff.
Fair enough. Now's your chance. It's not going to happen in a regular. Well, probably it might be. But,
well, even though it was like a plan to have a My Little Pony stream around April Fool's Day or something.
All right, yeah. Well, then that's in a month.
So yeah, it already happened apparently. So.
Well, that's just more of the random Pony Life spin-off that no one talks about. April will just be more of me and Captain Theory taking over the stream.
Yeah, it'll just be us discussing who is the true best Pegasus between Fluttershy and Derpy Hooves.
Derpy Hooves. Definitely Derpy Hooves.
Definitely Derpy.
Yep, that lovable goofball. Especially since it was recently Derpy Day on the internet.
Hey.
All right, yeah, March 3rd.
Yep.
I still think a bit. Well, I understand those parents, but back like when the show was happening, and Derpy got introduced, she appeared in the background, blah blah. And her eyes were lost and was being clumsy and such, and parents were complaining because they had kids who had handicaps and such, and they thought it was insulting that they made a Derpy pony. I'm like, they try to include those kids who are different by having someone special as Derpy in the show.
Yeah,
That's one of those
I always
things I'm
hated
like,
that.
why?
It's really stupid, especially with
Mhm.
that bit. Like, with me personally, I always saw Derpy more like Goofy from the Disney cartoons. You know, someone clumsy but well-meaning and not entirely stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, like mentally
Exactly.
stupid. Nah, that's never really was the case.
Yeah, I always hated that, like, that got changed because some people who probably weren't even, like, speaking on their own behalf said it was offensive. And
Yeah.
it really wasn't. And, like, it was such a minor victory that they said her name in an episode in season 2, and then immediately, like, pulled that episode, like, poorly edited it together to remove her name and change her voice and even fix her eyes.
Yeah, that was
And
really stupid.
I hated that. And then she was just like MIA for several seasons, and then started making tiny cameos again. And then they allowed her to be a side character again, and like,
Yeah,
but
in the
they
Slice
never
Life.
said her name again.
Yeah, that was weird. They kind of just censored it to like, oh no, we'll just call her Muffins or Bubba. I think Muffins is kind of the supposed canon name for the character.
They never say her name out loud again because like they'd have to deal with the anger of people who are like, you changed your name. But like for legal reasons, her name is Muffins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, in the fandom, she'll always be known as Derpy.
Exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting how, like, despite the different voices Derpy has, I think she's only gone like 3, but she's always been voiced by Tabitha St. Germain, which I find hilarious. And
Yep.
I think there's an interview or somewhere where she talks about doing the first voice of Derpy. She mostly described as just her doing, trying to do like a little boy voice, which I find hilarious.
Because she didn't know Derpy was a girl. So when she first voiced Derpy, she tried to give Derpy a boy voice. And then in the censored version of that episode, they changed it so that she did sound like a girl. And then when Derpy finally made her grand return, they gave her she gave her a new voice, which was much more fitting.
Yeah, I definitely like her third voice. It definitely sounds much better.
Well, you're not gonna leave enough topics to talk about next time on it's Pony Time.
Well, next time it'll just be a season retrospective.
Fair enough.
But yeah, maybe you guys should do a My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Dissected special. Like instead of doing Sonic X episodes, you're doing My Little Pony episodes.
Yeah, pick your favorite 3 episodes or something.
Yeah, like a top 3, not all of them, of course. No.
Yeah, top 3. Okay. I have to ask then. In that case, Melting Man, is Slice of Life in your top 3?
Yeah, I definitely like Slice of Life.
Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about that one for sure.
Yeah, funny enough, I have tried to do like G4 retrospective on the seasons. It is kind of a bit daunting because 9 seasons and all the films and specials. I had tried scripting it out. Like originally, it was just going to be 1 season per video, but then okay, maybe 3 seasons per video, and have it, my Pony Sauna Bronze Age, and have that be in it. But I don't know. The project's kind of stuck in limbo now, so I don't know. Maybe I'll scrap it in favor of the live stream idea. Who knows?
Yeah, why not? Can abuse my
that'd be fun.
Show to save yourself some trouble. So, any of you expecting Sonic Origins to show up at some point?
Yes, the game Yeah, the game that just kind of vanished out of thin air. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really expect any like upcoming news of Sonic Origins. Like after the whole sequel movie fiasco is done and over with. Yeah, I kind of feel like after the whole deal with like, oh, we forgot to put like Sonic 3 in widescreen and the whole aftermath of Sonic Colors Ultimate. I don't know. It's just kind of left in the air if it's canceled or not. There's the rumors going around that it's just stuck in development hell because no one's working on it right now.
Yeah, who knows?
Which is weird because that seems like definitely something they could just like give like Christian Whitehead like a Olive Garden gift card for, and he'd do it.
Yeah, I mean, there is a video that he posted where it shows like a beta test of porting Sonic 3 on the mobile phone. He said he's all for the idea of doing it if Sega will let him.
Yeah, that was years ago before Mania. Like the word on the street is that after Sonic Mania, the team was kind of angry at Sega. Apparently, something went very wrong. So I'm not sure if they're on.
Yeah, I've heard a
friendly
lot of
terms
behind. Yeah, there's some behind the scenes drama talk and whatnot. And oh, I guess we might as well talk about it now. So recently, Christian Whitehead revealed that Infinite was actually planned to appear in Sonic Mania, but never happened because apparently Sega was being very vague on the character at the time.
They're still vague on the character. Jeez, you still barely know anything about it.
Yeah, it really sucks because, like, you know, despite me not having interest with Mania, it's like, yeah, maybe at least this game would probably better set him up, like, you know, better build up and probably explain what the hell this character is. Unlike in the final product where all we have is just this random character trying too hard to be dark and edgy with two conflicting backstories and then anticlimactically killed off.
But yeah, that, if anything, I found the most interesting. Not the fact that Infinite was going to show up in Mania, because it's already clear that they were kind of forcing them to fit together. But that when you get an insight in how Sega works. Like, they made up this character that looks cool. Like, oh, you totally got to put him in there. It's like, okay, who is he? And I was like, and it just crashed down for the entire production. I mean, that pretty much is how Sonic Forces feels like. They have all, oh, let's do this cool thing. Like, okay, how does this work? Like,
yeah, that was very annoying with the first ever trailer from Sonic Forces. It was like the big robots, there's explosions. It was very like dark going on, like very super serious. Sonic's like ready for action, the robots and everything. Even I was hyped about it, like, oh, what's gonna happen with this? And then the game came out, it was like, wow, this is a big disappointment. That's nothing like the trailer.
Yeah, especially, yeah, the teaser trailer. Like, my reaction for it was kind of in that camp of, like, you know, I liked the trailer until Classic Sonic showed up. Because you're like, oh, yeah, hyping up, you know, finally a more serious Sonic again, you know, action, adventure, explosions, and then Classic Sonic shows up, and it's like, what?
Yeah, they should have left out Classic Sonic. It doesn't fit in there.
Yeah, especially since there's also rumors on the idea that, yeah, the rumor that Classic Sonic was never intended to be in Sonic Forces, because it's mostly because if you look through, like, interviews and concept art and a few other things, you can see that Classic Sonic is nowhere to be seen, so it does kind of add the possibility, like, yeah, he really was just forced in at the last minute, which would really explain the retcon and why his gameplay sucks compared to the others.
Ever figure what Forces feels like? A bunch of ideas that were never thought out. It's like, oh, let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do this. And is that's what Sonic Forces feels like? Just a pile of ideas. Like, they're technically possible ideas, and there's nothing wrong with the ideas, but they just didn't get any room to breathe.
With quite a few interferences from Sega being like, no, that's too bad, that's too evil. When they saw the trailer, they're like, no, you have to tone it down. And Sonic being stuck in jail for, it was like a few months. And
6 months.
He did 6 months, yeah. And he didn't even look like he was stuck in there 6 months. No, Sonic has to look healthy every day.
Yeah. Well, I think that's more of like a Japan and English thing, because, like, you know, the English are like, oh, he's been tortured for several months, blah, 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 but I think in the Japanese version, they only mention he's just been in jail, and that's it. They never mention about him being tortured.
Yeah, that's true.
Even then, it's not good, because in Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic was in jail for like 5 minutes, and he was already going stir-crazy.
Whoa.
But yeah, then... Yeah, rush gameplay. Yeah, the whole team mechanic thing with the Avatar and Sonic, that really felt pretty weak. Like, the double boost thing, it's like, it really feels pointless. Like, yeah, mash the button to like do this boosting thing. Don't mash the button, you just start slow, and then you automatically boost anyway. It's like, no, if you fail to press that button that many times, you're going up that damn hill the long way. You know it's sad when Sonic 4 Episode 2 did it better with the team mechanics than Sonic Forces.
Yeah.
What Captain just was mentioning about Sonic being locked up as such, even with the episode from Sonic X a while back when they were on a boat, it was like a relaxing, adventurous boat with lots of food and such. Even then, Sonic went mental. But 5 months or 6 months in a jail? Nah, he's fine.
Totally fine. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is stupid.
I do like, though, because like I've had this one joke ever since the trailer came out, because like it's talking about the world needs a hero, and it shows Sonic, and like, oh no, something's falling towards him, and it says like sometimes a hero is not enough, and then another Sonic shows up. So if you've got a problem too big for Sonic, just add another Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always had this idea for a comic of like making fun of the fact that, despite that they're like prisoners on the Death Egg, we never see them be free or anything. So like it would start off like, all right, Sonic, you gotta go and destroy the core to the Death Egg and make sure to save the prisoners this time. So they destroy the Death Egg and everything. Like, yay, it's gone, and you did remember to get the prisoners, right?
Right.
And then it cuts to space where all the dead bodies are just floating in space.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have a bit of a dark sense of humor sometimes. Although sometimes it's a little too extreme. At least back then, like, the whole extreme of I don't want to say because I don't want to get in trouble with you guys, but yeah, let's just say too extreme. That caused my Sonic 2017 in a nutshell video to get pulled down by YouTube for being inappropriate.
Because you had to bring in the evil ancient German army, yeah.
Yeah, the German army thing. It got taken down because of that, and yeah, I still have the video file. I just don't feel like re-uploading it because YouTube's gonna take it down anyway. I mean, I could re-upload it. I would just have to cut out the entire Sonic Mania segment so that it's just a short Sonic Forces parody.
World War II era German soldiers, is that a...
Sorry, you cut out. Can you repeat that?
That was the joke.
Oh, I was like, is that a joke or is he cutting off?
What's your joke?
The joke was I was going to say, is that a JoJo's reference?
Oh, everything's a JoJo reference.
But yeah, the short Sonic Forces comedy bit I did in that video, it's mostly a bit dated. It's like, opens up giant death eggs, epic music, and then it just cuts to like this poorly drawn like classic Sonic and modern Sonic. Sunshine, Lady Josh, and then like, third playable character revealed, and it's Nosy Bonk. And this was way before they revealed that it was the Avatar. But yeah, so and then it just ends with Sonic Forces coming out in whatever, available on I don't care.
Well, the advantage of the Avatar is no matter what kind of sarcastic example you could think of the third one, you can technically create it through the Avatar.
Yeah, I suppose. Except if you're like trying to make like a certain top-hatted character, because apparently there's only one color for the top hat, and that's just the white one. There's no fancy black one or anything.
No, there is a black one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did have the Fox.
You have to get. I believe you have to get honors level 4 with the dog character. Because I do have it, and I did make Captain Theory.
Ah, I didn't know that. I just know that in Roger's stream, he only had the white top hat when showing off his first impressions on Sonic Forces in a very early live stream.
Yeah, during the first impressions, I didn't unlock it yet, but I think in a later video I did have the black hat, and then I did.
He did.
Yeah, I must have missed it, but then again, I don't really have the patience to try and unlock Sonic Forces. Like, after playing it and beating the story, like, yep, that's it, I'm done. I'm not going to bother unlocking everything for the Avatar.
I just thought you were about to say, I don't have the patience to sit through Roger's crap again.
No, I could sit through it all day. Like, I sometimes listen to it when I, like, do chores or do anything.
Because I remember vaguely when Roger unlocked the top hat, he was pretty happy about it, like cheering, "Hey, look, he's top hat now."
Yeah, like now we have Luke the Fox in the game. Yay!
Exactly.
Just unlocking is so annoying because you have to play the same level over and over and over and over and over again. Man, the Avatar should really add more levels.
Yeah.
Or at least
you don't have to play as the Avatar.
Sorry, what was that?
I don't think you have to play as the Avatar, but like, if I'm wrong, like, it does definitely count if you're playing as the Avatar in Sonic. So I just do that one really short level over and over again.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it does count when it's the Avatar and Sonic together, I suppose, yeah. That
Yeah, I
doubles the
guess.
amount of levels.
Yeah, well, at least on the plus side, at least the game did inspire me to like actually do something with my Sonic Forces avatar. I mostly just made him as a black rabbit at first, just say, "Hey, now Oswald the Lucky Rabbit's in the game, except he's missing his shorts, yay!" And then I'd give him a few like cosmetics, like a cybernetic suit and robot hands, and then that kind of gave me the inspiration, like, oh, maybe I can actually try and make this into my own Sonic OC, just make him like the most weak, pathetic, useless character ever. And weirdly enough, by the end of the day, when I finished his little bio and whatnot, I unintentionally made him more like Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like the whole deal with him, I wrote like, oh, he's fighter in the war, he lost his hands, and he's become like paranoid, fearing that like with his new metal hands, he might like accidentally kill someone with like the force and the weight and everything. And he doesn't have any special powers; they're just robot hands, and the suit that he wears like helps power him up.
Nice. But yeah, I'm so surprised they never made Avatar playable in Team Sonic Racing. That would have been a perfect fit.
Yeah, but then again, Team Sonic Racing's full of budget cuts.
Oh,
Then,
well.
Yeah, I remember hearing a rumor that Sumo wasn't really interested in doing another Sonic Racing, but I don't know where I found that. That was that was a while ago. So I don't know if that really was true or not.
Yeah, I did read that too, because we were too busy with a different game. So it was kind of like a last-minute extra project.
Yeah, like that would kind of explain, like, all the lack of interesting things for this game. Although one funny thing I felt like pointing out is, like, in Team Sonic Racing, there are some tracks where, you're racing on the ground, doing normal, blah, 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 and then, like, the track would curve, and then you're just driving sideways. And, like, sometimes they do that in other games, like Nitro Kart or Mario Kart 8. Like, usually the kart would transform into, like, an anti-gravity mode to suit that section. But not in Team Sonic Racing, it's just, oh... Hold on a second.
All right.
Because he needs to drink some water.
I just got a question. I see. Ivan has to.
Right. Okay, I'm alive. As I was saying, yeah, the Team Sonic Racing, they just, oh, don't mind me, we're just casualing defying the laws of gravity. Whee! Unlike the cars don't transform or anything, they're just defying gravity.
Ivan asked, "Did I go back to my previous animation hardware? I solved the problem why SWAT gets in export, so I can use the modern again. But yeah, for the Kingdom Hearts, I did go back to my old one again, and for this one too. So I'm lazy. I know I never used Toon Boom yet. Oh, I mean, I did try it once, but I didn't like it.
Yeah, I honestly can't really tell much of a difference between the different animation programs. Like, I know there was that one Sonic and Amy parody you did in Twinkle Park. Like, oh yeah, there's a lot more like shading in that version. And then the recent Kingdom Hearts video you did, it was mostly the backgrounds that kind of caught me off guard. It's like, whoa, these look more realistic. Are they just photos or something else? I don't know.
What do you thought was photos? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Most of the backgrounds in your recent Kingdom Hearts Key parody, because like there's a lot more like detail compared to like just.
Oh right, yeah, that's because someone asked. I had a guest artist working on that. I'm actually gonna draw the entire thing, but they never got to finish it, which I kind of understand considering how detailed it was. But yeah, they were big fans of my work, so they wanted to do a project together with me. So, and they did do a couple backgrounds and a couple characters, but then they kind of lost interest or motivation was gone and they were too busy. So the artwork was just laying around for a very long time, and I thought it was a waste because some of those shots were beautiful. So I just offered, hey, I'll finish it for you, because otherwise, what a waste, So,
yeah, they're very nice.
Yeah, that's why it looks a lot more detailed and better than my usual work. It's quite a challenge for me to draw new background elements and still fit with their style. Their style is extreme detailed. Yeah.
Yeah, it did kind of caught me off guard when watching the video, because I was kind of expecting, like, a standard parody of the story of Kingdom Hearts Key, but no, just mostly focused on the Avatar just screwing around in the Disney world, which is pretty funnier, because, like, oh yeah, he's very chatty and constantly spamming, like, oh, we're the Heartless, compared to how he's mostly mute in the actual game. He has a few lines of dialogue, but not much.
He's supposed to represent, like, all the players, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, maybe I should not have called it Kingdom Hearts X, if I ever do a straight parody.
Well, you could maybe next time just call it Kingdom Hearts Triple X.
Sure. Although the next spec's something completely different. And then
Yeah,
I will have to
throw-
draw Yuri stuff or something.
Yeah, a throwback to your older animations with the more risque stuff.
Yeah, my older work had more almost nudity in it. Oh well, my old stuff. Let's see. Did I get any other requests to draw chaos? I hate drawing monsters.
I got a request.
Oh, I have to draw something for you?
Yeah, well, not specifically for me, but seeing as Captain is feeling sick, maybe draw him as that one butterfly Pokemon that he likes.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Vivian!
Yeah, exactly. Well, was it the polar version?
No, the High Plains.
Well, I mean Captain as Vivian of the Pokemon.
As that Pokemon, yeah.
I did
Vivian,
get a couple more questions. Rainbow Pooper, have you heard that they announced live-action spin-off show of Knuckles? Yes, I've heard, but we don't know anything about it, so I don't have any thoughts about it yet. Do you want to say something about it?
Yeah, we've heard about. But yeah, I heard about the Knuckles spin-off. It's kind of weird that it just came out like, we're a couple of days until the release of the Sonic movie 2, and then suddenly they drop out, oh, we're gonna do a Sonic 3 and a Knuckles spin-off. It's like, still, that's gonna be interesting. Like, second time Knuckles gets to have his own spin-off series. Just don't tell Ken Penders.
But yeah, it seems to have to get to Paramount Plus. I mean, with Beavis and Butthead getting a new show, and Sonic getting a show, and a new movies.
Paramount
we
Plus
already
thing,
had two streaming services here.
Yeah, not sure how I feel about that. Cause like I have Netflix and Hulu and maybe a few others, but no Paramount Plus. So it's gonna be a bit annoying for trying to watch that series. Oh well, off to the scalpers. Whee!
I guess so. And a different question from Castle Rock. Roger, I'm curious to know if you'll do a Kingdom Hearts parody of Melody of Memories. I have to say I haven't looked at that game yet, so but yeah, I definitely should. I mean, it's kind of my job to make a parody of every game now. I still have to do Kingdom Hearts 3 even, huh?
I'll tell you this ahead of time. Like, when it comes to the story of Memory of Melody, it's kind of similar to Kingdom Hearts Coded, as in the important plot details don't happen until like the very end of the game.
Well, everything else doesn't really matter. I can just make fun of the gameplay, which I kind of did with the X now too. But my next Kingdom Hearts project is probably going to be about the Foreteller. So on that, it was just a movie we got in one of the compilations. It's going to be my next movie. And I still need to make Kingdom Hearts 3, but I'm still kind of too intimidated and lazy to start working on that one. But yeah, I have to do research in the Melody game. I haven't looked into it at all yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, the movie Key, that was just more of like taking place like during the same events of Key is just showing more of the Foreteller side of the story, like what they were doing during all of this. And showing more of the Master of Masters, which I find him really amusing. Yeah, he's kind of like one of those. Huh?
Have to find a good voice actor for that. May I go on?
Yeah. I could try and give it a go. But anyway, right, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the whole Kingdom Hearts thing. Like, yeah, there's that, and I don't know. Maybe you could try re-uploading your Kingdom Hearts parody of Coded, because I don't think you ever uploaded that on YouTube.
I did? Oh, then I really should take.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I haven't seen it, and I can't find like anyone else that's uploaded either. I know it's a very short one. It was just more of like poking fun at Jiminy's journal, like, oh, the world's getting released. Oh, my secret stash of Naruto porn. That kind of thing.
Oh, I never uploaded that. Okay, I should take a look then. All right, thanks. Can always use more stuff to upload on my dying channel.
Yeah, more filler stuff. Yeah. I sometimes do that too with random filler stuff. In fact, right now I'm kind of doing one, working on right now a short video of just Sonic and Tails doing this derpy dance set to the song of the Sonic and Tails song from the Sonic Arcade CD.
Oh, made in with 3D mods.
No, it's not. Well, this time it's not 3D. It's all drawn free-handed. I have like it's just this 2-frame like dance thing of just bouncing up and down, and the background's constantly changing to like all the previous Sonic games that mostly have featured Sonic and Tails in them. So like Sonic 2, Sonic Heroes, Unleashed, that kind of thing.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I guess it'll be my little video to hype up the release of Sonic Movie 2, I guess.
That's nice. Dead silence.
And then there was silence.
Sweet, sweet silence.
Sorry, I'm just watching you draw Vivian. It's so cute so far.
Ah, got the little mustache. And even the chin there.
I don't think I'm very good at drawing cute. My style is too organic and kind of chaotic for that.
Yeah. Not sure. I feel like that's kind of more of my thing. Like, yeah, I'm fine with doing more cute, wholesome stuff, especially with my recent Gmod series I did, where it just shows the Nitro Squad gals from CTR Nitro Field being like, they're being nice and comforting the viewer. Like, oh, here's Amy comforting the viewer after having a bad day, or Megumi, staying with the viewer after having a nightmare, that kind of thing. Which, of course, Megumi is the best Nitro Squad gal.
Of
Yes.
course, yes.
The little top hat.
So cute.
Yeah.
But the question would be like, would the antennas would they be sticking out of the hat, or in front of the hat, or behind the hat?
The best part is it doesn't matter because the hat is black, so you can't see it anyway.
Ah, true.
Yeah, the antennas are solid black like the hat. Yeah.
See, so it doesn't matter. Although now you can see it in front of the hat, so it's already kind of. Oh well.
And of course, can't forget about the monocle. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did draw the monocle. Oh wait. I screwed up. Anyway, it's almost April Fool's Day, and I always have a tradition that people can send in more requests, which I either animate or draw or answer in a question.
Yeah, your yearly Q&A videos, yeah, which I've helped out with organizing them for anyone that wants to check out the previous videos.
That's true. So I guess we're gonna do that again in a month. So I might as well just say it now. If even though we're already basically answering questions now, so it's kind of feels pointless now we have these live streams. But for tradition's sake.
Well, I guess the April Fool's kind of feels more like tradition and more like special compared to like casually answering like random people in the chat. Like, well, at least April Fools we have like a whole year. Like any question we've mentioned before, maybe we've changed our minds or maybe new stuff has come up. That kind of thing.
I suppose, and I can prepare the answers a little more. I suppose. But yeah, so everyone is free to send in the comments below to what kind of things they have to request. I'm not as fast anymore. You might have noticed on my terrible output this year, so I can't really promise I'm going to do a lot of them. I'll try. Whatever request you have for me to draw as an animation or artwork or a question you want me answered or something to do with Sonic Roboblast 2, I'll see whatever is funny and whatever I can finish in time.
That actually kind of reminds me of a thought I've had recently, is that like Melting Man and I both do Gmod stuff. I was wondering if maybe he and I could collab on Gmod stuff.
Ooh, that definitely sounds very interesting. Yeah,
because two minds are greater than one, or something like that. So
yeah,
maybe we could pump out something faster or higher quality.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, you want to join in the April Fool's request thingy then too? You can pick whatever people requested. Hey, that's
yeah. If anybody requests something that Melting Man and I can do in Gmod, I'd be willing to help out.
Two ponies is better than one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because friendship is magic.
But of course, we only pick the IDs we find interesting. So if you want to ensure your ID gets chosen, just pick My Little Pony Jury probably or something. But being cute. Then Melting Man will get on it immediately.
Yeah, well, there's definitely a lot of pony models in Gmod, which, well, aside from the whole thing, I've actually helped out with commissioning a few people to make some MLP-themed models. Like, the most I've done was commissioning someone to do a model of Wheatgrass, a character more exclusive to the comics, who is best hippie pony. Fight me, tree hugger fans. And the other one was Philly Starlight Glimmer, because wow, no one's ever done that, so I commissioned someone to do that. And then the other one was Lily Moon, a character who's more exclusive to the Ponyville Mysteries chapter books, which is criminally underrated in my opinion. But yeah, she's this mysterious girl that the Kingdom Hearts Crusaders hang out, and they go on all kinds of adventures with supernatural stuff happening. And there's this big ongoing plot, but yeah, it's pretty good. Just go hunt down a copy of the books.
All right. Wait, the Vivian can change colors, right? So I should copy the captain's outfit then.
Well, no. I specifically wanted the High Plains one because that's the one that's native to my area of the world, so it's the one I'm most attached to.
It's also probably a good idea because your costume is gray and the creature itself is also gray, so we kind of double.
Yeah, well, it's the wing patterns that change between areas, so.
So this is the Montana Vivian?
Yeah. Yeah, High Plains is what it's called.
Because they don't have actual Montana in Pokemon Land. What a shame.
Yet.
Don't forget the body, because at the moment he's bodiless.
Yeah, speaking of drawing Captain Theory, I might as well plug this in, but so since this year we'll be marking the Sonic Dissected's 10th anniversary, I've been doing some work on making a 10th anniversary pick, where it features like, Roger, Luke, the usual trio, and pretty much everyone that's guest starred, even like more gag characters and everything. So I've been busy on that, and it's going to be interesting when drawing Captain Theory the first time, because I think the only time I did that was with that whole Roger Through the Ages comic that I did, but that was mostly just tracing. So here it'll just be more like, having him posing where he's fighting Captain Obvious. And the only thing I've usually done is like trying to separate the colors a bit so they don't look all the same. Like the top hat, I usually add in like a stripe whenever I draw like Roger, Luke, or Captain Theory. So like, Captain Theory has the gray stripe to go with his costume and all that.
All right. Yeah, that's something to look forward to. A big
yeah, I did yeah, I've done a few already finished. Like I did DJ the Iguana, I did Steph. I still have a shit ton of others to do. I recently got done doing one of Roger and Luke in real life from the whole episode where their cartoon selves are killed and they're just kind of in this limbo area. But that was just simple. I just took a snapshot from the episode and just added some effects like, dream effects, looks like he's coming from a portal, that kind of thing.
Wow, it's really going to be epic. Where are you going to upload it anyway?
I'll upload it on DeviantArt, and I don't know, maybe I'll upload it on the stream, but I don't know like if that'll happen, depending on what day it lands on.
Well, of course, if
but
it's
yeah,
finished, I'll show it off here. I drew the wings kind of bad.
Taco Jones.
Yes. I take it that's his favorite kind of food, and not just the gag that was used in Sonic Movie Dissected.
No, I do honestly love Taco John's. It's amazing. It technically started in Wyoming, but it's something that Montanans love. I have family who like grew up here, but they live in Colorado now. Whenever they come to visit us, before they even see their family, they stop by Taco John's.
Wow. Priorities.
Yeah, you and your family is all about Taco John's, and my dad is usually all about Starbucks.
Taco John's, they're your real family.
That's what's promotion for Sonic Movie 3, because Sonic Movie 2 might have like Olive Garden or Sonic's.
I'm shocked they didn't do the Sonic's promotion.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird. Like, I guess it was just too obvious, or they just didn't have like they didn't have enough money to pay for the royalties for that.
Yeah.
Oh well, maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe the Sonic movie sequel may actually do something with the Olive Garden thing, like, because it was so forced in the first one. So in the second film, like, Robotnik takes over Olive Garden and turns it into a giant robot. That's the giant robot we see in the trailers.
Maybe that should be my parody. The next time the battle's really just about fast food restaurants. Eggman is just part of the Olive Garden team or something.
Yeah, a satire on fast food restaurants finding each other.
Why not? But then, of course, Taco John's has to be a good guy, otherwise the captain won't cooperate with me.
I will go to Dave Fowler's house, or Jim Fowler, or whatever his first name is.
Of course. And hey, who knows? Maybe if my parody is successful, then all the fast food restaurants will pay me royalties for making advertisements for them. And I'll get free food, and there goes my diet.
Yeah, that Olive Garden gives you coupons, even though in our country we don't even have Olive Garden.
Yeah, it's possible. Because I mean, like Robot Chicken, they're known for doing parodies, and they've actually done some official promos for like Star Wars related stuff, and of course EA. So who knows? Maybe you'll officially become like the advertiser for some fast food stuff.
Indeed, who knows? My cruddy, stupid, badly drawn animations. All right, so is there anything else anyone wants to talk about?
Well, speaking of fast food, I got a little random fact about Wendy's. Wendy's is, of course, an American food chain or fast food chain. Wendy's actually tried to start up a food chain over here in Europe, but because there's a company or a chip shop, fry shop in Belgium, who's also called Wendy's, he actually has the copyright or the trademark to open up Wendy's in Europe. And because of that, the American Wendy's isn't able to come over to Europe. Well done.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really been a fan of Wendy's. Let's just say their food doesn't really settle well with my stomach.
It's not the best, no.
I tried it once, I wasn't happy either.
No. It was at the airport, was it? At Newark?
Yeah.
We had it.
Very, very liquidy.
But the whole thing with Subways too. Over here, Subway is nice. We usually get it like in town or whatever in the UK. But we tried Subways in America, and was it Dallas? Yeah, Dallas. And it was just bland. It was like, where's the flavor? We were looking between the slices, but between the salad and the turkey, but there was no flavor to it. Like a whole big difference between the European and the American Subway. It's just so weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, it's been a while. I've been to Subway. The Subway in Japan, when I went to my vacation there, that was actually quite a surprising because like the food items there were completely different from how it usually is in America. Like, oh, they have Jello, they have potato wedges, and they have this and that. And while we were there, they had this whole "Where's Waldo" theme going on, or where's Wally for Europeans. So I don't know if he's like the official Japanese mascot for Subway, or if that was just a theme that were going on that year. But yeah, I just know that like popular fast food chains in Japan, like McDonald's, Subway, and whatnot, that's kind of considered more higher class thing instead of like the usual restaurants that are in Japan. So usual sushi bars and whatnot. Yep.
Yeah. Also,
because it's more rare. I mean, McDonald's was also more high class than regular snack bars here in my youth because they were so rare.
Also, fun thing with in Japan. Oh wait, I think you guys already mentioned about that. That KFC is quite big in Japan around Christmas and such. Like you have to order beforehand to pick up KFC chicken and turkeys and such. Like that's the big thing for Christmas.
Yeah, my sister definitely told me that during the vacation.
Yeah. The story behind that is the guy who owns KFC in Japan tricked Japanese people into thinking that Americans have KFCs for Christmas.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Nah, the only like Christmas food promotion that I remember around that time was mostly with Coca-Cola when they used to have like Santa Claus or the polar bears advertising. Oh, have a Coke for the holidays, that kind of thing.
Weird because it doesn't feel like very Christmassy. It should be more chocolate milk or something. But oh well.
Yeah, but the other thing is Christmas pretty much is very American, and it got blown over to different countries, and eventually it arrived in Japan. So. Yeah, and then what Captain just mentioned, it makes sense that it's evolved to that.
Yeah, those Christmas holidays and different traditions. Yeah.
There's actually a kind of interesting story that Christmas was once outlawed in America because
I did not know that.
Yeah, because it has pagan origins and people were upset about that, but as it became less and less associated with paganism, people are like, oh, this is a Christian holiday.
Yeah, that is weird. I mean, I've heard of Halloween being frowned upon in some areas, but yeah, never heard of it that way for Christmas.
Kind of pointless to me. I think they already outgrown the original religious themes. They just become a thing on their own.
Yeah, it's basically consumerism now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep, just hopping on and buying stuff and whatever Hallmark feels like pumping out that year. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, there he is, Captain Vivian.
Captain Vivian. It looks so adorable. Thank you so much, Roger.
Despite having wings, he still has a cape. Kind of oversized.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see.
Like a third wing or something.
Yeah, it kind of caught me off guard. Like I thought that was a shadow. Like, oh no, that's the cape. It's just flying in the wind there. Yeah.
How zany. All right, should we end the stream here? I think we're about done talking, and now I just finished the drawing, so...
Yeah, and this time making sure that the stream doesn't cut off when, for example, a melting man says goodbye, and it sounds like goodbye.
Yeah, yeah.
Give it a few seconds.
That's my style. Like it's a special magical Roger feeling, because I'm so good at it.
I still think the best one is ending with melting man going...
You just had to bring that one up, didn't you?
Yeah, that's something for April Fool's Day, like the top 5 endings of Roger's live streams, and that one being the number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 1. Half of that whole live stream where we talked about the Sonic X manga and our first half of the manga, and yeah, the rest is just me coughing from after that giggle fit that Luke broke me.
One day, if Melting Man can be on the stream, I should just have like his sound and just constantly edit it into the stream. Melting Man, what's your opinion about this?
Funny enough, I actually have had ideas of doing like a video, like highlighting certain segments of the live stream and put together like this animatic, not like animation, just kind of like these stills of like the different poses and everything, and just doing like fun illustrations, like like the joke we joked about Robotnik attacking the stream with the fireworks going off, and cracking up when I made that. The whole joke of like, we're hogging the frame. Yeah, maybe he's advertising a porno, that kind of thing.
That's kind of funny because I actually mentioned something pretty similar to Roger a while back, like making clips for to upload on YouTube, like 20 seconds, 50 seconds segments of bits of the live streams, and then being animated, but in a very simple way. So yeah, great minds think alike.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Then I need someone else to pick the clips because I don't really get.
That's like how many hours? Like 20 times.
Yeah, too many hours to count. Like I know, like out of all the streams, the Halloween one was one of my favorites. Like, and not just joking about the whole werehog porn thing. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Well, if you have interesting clips you think could be fun animation, do tell. Mm-hmm. I don't think I have a really good instinct for that sort of thing.
So yeah, Melting Man, good luck watching back all those old Dissected videos so you can make a report about what the funniest bits were.
Well, I've gone through like several marathons of the Dissected series in general. Doing a Dissected of the live stream, yeah, that's gonna be quite the marathon. Like, but hey, I survived 2.5 years of watching all 26 seasons of classic Doctor Who. I'm sure I can survive this one.
Well, don't worry.
Episode of Doctor Who feels like an eternity.
Yeah, and I'm still behind with Modern Who. Like, I tried to catch up with it, like try and start like the Christopher Eccleston years, and then I tried David Tennant, and then I kind of stopped around the school reunion episode, and I don't know why. I guess in some ways I'm kind of a little intimidated because I remember back then when Doctor Who was becoming popular in America, like David Tennant, that was the only thing they would talk about. Oh, David Tennant's back, oh, David Tennant this, David Tennant that, yeah. So then I kind of felt he's a little bit overrated, but I don't know. I haven't seen his full run of the Doctor. I did see the Day of the Doctor special. That was a fun treat, and in some ways kind of felt more like a remake of or at least the modern version of the 3 Doctors, in some ways.
Yeah, I tried starting to watch it with Matt Smith, Doctor Who, but at some point I started missing out several episodes because of things in life. Really, like missed out on episodes, but those episodes are very long, and the only way I was able to watch it was on the BBC. actual channels, so it wasn't really easy to watch back. And at that point, I just stopped watching.
There actually used to be a family family activity we used to do with me. It's like, oh, new episode of Doctor Who. Let's get in the living room and have some fun watching it, and that kind of thing. Yeah, good times.
Yeah. But I think Roger wanted to end the stream, so we soon keep going.
Yeah. Oh, 3 hours of charm. But yeah, I'm getting a little tired. Yeah.
Mm-mm. So, Roger?
So thanks everyone for watching again. And again, if you have any requests to tell me below, including maybe clips from this show you want to see animated. And the most important thing